How your RAS shapes your life. Complain or find solutions. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to share something that could genuinely change the way you live your life, think, and experience the world every single day. This is not just about motivation or positivity, although those are great. This is about something deeper, something that is literally built into your brain. I'm talking about your Reticular Activating System, also known as your RAS. This powerful part of your brain decides what you notice, what you ignore, and ultimately, what kind of reality you live in. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to find opportunity everywhere, while others see only problems, or why some people rise with solutions while others drown in complaints, the answer often comes down to the RAS. And the most incredible part is that you can learn how to program it. You can train your brain's filter to show you solutions instead of obstacles, to highlight opportunities instead of problems, and to open doors instead of closing them. So let's begin by understanding what this mysterious RAS really is. Your brain receives millions of signals every single second. Think about it. Right now, as you sit here listening to me, there are so many things happening around you. Maybe the hum of a refrigerator in the background. Maybe the feeling of your feet pressed against the floor. Maybe the texture of the chair you're sitting on, or even the sound of distant cars passing by. All of that information is flooding into your nervous system at the same time. But you're not consciously paying attention to most of it. Why? Because your reticular activating system is at work. It's filtering. It's deciding what makes it to your conscious mind and what doesn't. Without this system, you'd be overwhelmed by everything happening around you. With this system, your brain gets to decide, this matters, that doesn't. And the way it decides comes down to what you've told it, consciously or unconsciously, to focus on. Have you ever bought a new car or a pair of shoes and suddenly you start seeing that exact model or color everywhere? It's not that the world suddenly changed. Those cars and shoes were always there. But your brain had ignored them because before, they didn't seem important. Once you started focusing on them, your RAS said, okay, I'll start flagging this as relevant. And suddenly, they're everywhere. That is the RAS in action. Now imagine applying this not just to cars or shoes, but to opportunities, solutions, financial abundance, or even relationships. When you start focusing your mind in the right direction, your RAS begins to bring those things into your awareness. It doesn't create them, but it brings them from the background to the foreground. And that's how your reality changes. Here's the catch though. Your RAS doesn't have a sense of morality. It doesn't know right from wrong. It doesn't know positive from negative. It only knows what you've repeatedly focused on. That means there are two paths of programming. One path is where you feed your RAS constant negativity. You complain all the time. You focus on what's going wrong. You dwell on mistakes. And you tell yourself over and over that life is unfair. Every complaint is a signal to your RAS. This is important. Show me more of this. So your brain begins filtering the world to confirm your negativity. You begin noticing every little problem, every small inconvenience, and every flaw. Good things happen, but your brain doesn't highlight them because you've essentially told it they don't matter. This is why people who live in a state of constant complaint often feel like nothing goes right for them. It's not that life is uniquely harder for them, it's that their RAS has been trained to ignore anything good. On the other hand, there is another way. You can train your RAS to focus on solutions. This doesn't mean problems will disappear. Life is full of challenges, but what changes is how your brain responds to those challenges. Instead of saying, this is unfair, I can't do this, nothing works for me, your RAS begins highlighting resources, ideas, and opportunities. You might overhear a conversation that sparks the exact solution you need. You might notice a book on a shelf that contains the answer to your problem. You might meet someone who offers guidance you never even considered. These things were always there, but until your RAS had been trained to filter for them, they stayed hidden. When your RAS is programmed for solutions, life begins to look very different. It doesn't mean it's perfect. but it means your awareness is aligned with growth and progress instead of stuck in a cycle of negativity. Now let's get real about why so many people stay stuck in complaint mode. Complaining is easy. It takes no effort to point out what's wrong. And in a strange way, complaining can feel satisfying because it lets us vent. But here's the dangerous truth. Every complaint is a message to your RAS, telling it to focus on more problems. And because the brain loves consistency, it will gladly obey. Before you know it, your mind is addicted to finding things to complain about. You wake up already scanning for problems. You interpret neutral events as negative. Even good news is filtered through suspicion. And the longer this goes on, the more convincing it feels that life is against you. But it's not life, it's your filter. This is why reprogramming your RAS is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. And the beautiful part is that you can start immediately. You don't need money. You don't need special equipment. You only need awareness and practice. The first way to reprogram your RAS is to set clear goals. Your brain is naturally goal-driven, but if you don't give it a clear destination, it defaults to whatever you obsess about most. If you spend all your time obsessing about problems, then problems are what your brain will keep feeding you. But if you give your brain a clear goal, something specific and meaningful, your RAS starts filtering information to help you achieve it. That's why vague goals don't work. Saying, "I want to be successful," doesn't tell your RAS anything useful. But saying, "I want to earn this much income doing meaningful work I love," or "I want to improve my health so I can run a marathon in 12 months," gives your RAS something concrete to flag as important. Visualization is another powerful tool. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, your RAS begins to treat those mental images as reality. Olympic athletes use this technique all the time. They don't just train their bodies, they train their brains. They visualize themselves crossing the finish line, lifting the weight, or scoring the goal. And because the brain can't easily tell the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real one, it starts preparing the body and awareness to make that vision real. Visualization isn't daydreaming, it's programming. Equally important is the way you talk to yourself. Every phrase you repeat becomes a command to your RAS. If you keep telling yourself, "I'm unlucky, nothing works for me, I'll never succeed," your RAS will obediently filter reality to confirm that belief. But if you start saying, "I'm resilient, I find solutions, I attract opportunities," your RAS will begin filtering reality to support those statements instead. It's not magic, it's training. Another simple but profound way to reprogram your RAS is gratitude. When you make it a daily practice to write down or reflect on the things you're grateful for, your brain learns to filter the world differently. Instead of scanning for problems, it scans for blessings. Instead of noticing only what went wrong, it starts noticing what went right. Over time, this becomes your new normal. Gratitude shifts your awareness from lack to abundance, and your RAS responds by bringing more of that abundance into your conscious view. And don't forget the power of your environment. Your RAS is influenced not only by your own thoughts, but also by the people and content you surround yourself with. If you spend your time with complainers, your brain will reinforce that filter. If you constantly consume negative media, your RAS will highlight more negativity. But if you surround yourself with problem solvers, innovators, motivators, and creators, your RAS will tune itself to that wavelength. It will begin noticing possibilities where before you only saw obstacles. When you start living with a solution-oriented RAS, everything changes. Challenges don't vanish, but they feel different. Instead of looking like walls, they look like puzzles. Instead of making you feel like a victim, they invite you to step into the role of a creator. You begin asking better questions, like what can I learn from this? Or how can I grow through this? And those better questions lead to better answers, because your RAS is scanning for solutions instead of excuses. opportunities begin to snowball. One small solution leads to a new path, and that new path leads to new doors opening. Life begins to feel like it's flowing in your favor. And in truth, life isn't any different. What changed is the way your RAS is filtering it. So, here's the final truth I want you to remember. Your RAS doesn't decide for you whether life is good or bad. You do. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every focus you choose is a vote for the kind of reality your RAS will create for you. You can live in a world of endless complaints, or you can live in a world of endless solutions. You can train your RAS to drag you down, or you can train it to lift you. The choice is yours, and the results will shape your entire life. Thank you so much for staying with me through this message. If this video resonated with you, if you feel inspired to reprogram your awareness and live a life full of solutions and opportunities, then please take a moment to give this video a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. I'm dedicated to bringing you more motivational and transformational content that helps you unlock your potential, master your mindset, and live the life you truly deserve. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's continue this journey of growth together. Remember, your RAS is powerful, your mind is capable, and your future is waiting for you to step into it. Don't complain your way through life. Train your brain to find the solutions. And watch your reality transform.